We all know Valorant is pretty hard, but to add to the struggles, sometimes it feels like everyone is just one-tapping you while you can't hit a shot and you just keep dying every gunfight. Well, this could be because of your aim. Luckily, you clicked on my video, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you all the tips you need to improve your aim. I've used these tips personally to get to Immortal. I solo queue it every season. And now, first tip I'm going to give you guys will make you literally instantly improve. And I mean, this will literally take no commitment at all. Enough yap, this tip is going to be to warm up before you start playing your games. I know it's kind of a boring tip, but to be honest, the only way you're going to get an instant improvement is to start warming up. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, not a long routine, just maybe shooting some bots in the range, maybe doing a death match or two, or just some quick practice in aim labs. I don't care what you do, maybe some hand stretches. As long as it's a quick 5 to 30 minutes, it should do you some good. Me personally, I don't actually like to warm up, but playing cold is honestly never a good idea. I'm just lazy. So if you really need to get better aim and you want to play better in your matches, make sure you warm up. But if you actually want to improve, be a better player, and have the patience to do so, the rest of this video is going to be focused on improving your aim in the long term and making you a better player. Every tip's going to build off the last one to improve your fundamentals as a whole. And now that we have all of that out of the way, let's do the actual tip one. This one is super obvious, but we're going to need to master our counter strafing. You've probably heard this in other videos, probably some of my older videos, but basically you're moving to one side, then you hit the opposite side to stop moving. To drill this, just go into a custom game with a range, practice tapping counter strafes back to back. To know if you're doing it well, make sure no bullets go stray and they all go straight. Counter strafing is important because if you shoot before you stop your strafe, the bullets are going to be going wild and you're going to miss your shots. That's bad aim. Then on top of that, if you can't counter strafe, you'll get shot before you can even shoot back most of the time. Time for visual demonstration. We're here in the range, and now normally if you're not moving, shoot like this. Obviously bullets gonna go straight where you're aiming, and if you shoot while you're moving, the bullet's not gonna go where you're aiming at all. But obviously it's gonna be harder to hit you as a player if you are moving, because it's a moving target. So we're gonna put the two together, shooting straight and moving. You see what I'm doing right now? The reason we do this is because the bullets are gonna go exactly while we're aiming as long as we shoot when we switch sides. So let's say I'm strafing right, I stop, I shoot on the second that I stop. It'll look like this. Slow motion, swing, stop, shoot, swing. You can do this in a chain like this. See this? I'm just constantly moving. You can go wider on some swings, shorter on the other, just to keep it variable. But this is good because basically it's gonna make it harder to hit you as you shoot people. You don't want to be a standing still target because that makes you an easy target. We're doing this so we have a base to build up our other fundamentals on, because if you can't stay alive, you're not going to get kills. And now that we have counter strafing locked down, you're going to need to know where to aim while you do it. This is called crosshair placement, which is our second tip. You may have noticed that while I was doing this, my crosshair was always aimed head height. I wasn't aiming at their stomach, flicking up to their heads. I was just always aiming at the head level. Now, what is crosshair placement? Well, it's probably the most important part of your aim, because the best flicks don't mean anything if you can already be aiming at the enemy before you even peek them. That's the strength of crosshair placement. You don't need to waste time adjusting because you're already looking there. But here's the hard part about this. You need to know map knowledge, map elevation, all of that stuff that's kind of complicated and intricate. But on a real note, if you're brand new, you don't know where anything is on the maps, and you don't know the height levels, you can really just get away with holding the crosshair at what you think head level would be. Basically straight ahead of you. Don't aim too low, don't aim too high, just in the center of the screen. As you get better, you can start assuming if people are crouching and on off angles, but I just don't want to see any of you aiming at feet anymore. You're much better than that. I know you're better than that, so let's act like it. And now I know I just spent the last minute or two blazing some crosshair placement, but that doesn't mean having good mechanics and flicks are a bad thing to have in your bag. Because let's just say that your crosshair placement was good, but they're slightly higher or lower than where you were aiming. This is where your mechanics come in, because you're gonna need to be able to hit that flick and or micro adjustment, whatever you want to call it. This is why for our next tip, we're gonna be trying to spend more time in the range and or aim trainers. Personally, I like to use the range. You get to use in-game weapons with your in-game crosshair, and you just get the real feel of the game. Because the issue is, when you're playing Valorant, you're not shooting floating blue balls or orange squares in your comp matches. You're shooting people with guns that have recoil and movement error. But this isn't me calling aim trainers bad per se, because they do have really useful scenarios and training modes that you can use. I'm just personally a fan of the range. Now, for the most part, you can just practice level flicks at first, nothing too crazy. For range users, I'd recommend starting on easy mode in the range. If you don't miss a single bot, you can move up to medium. If you miss less than 3 bots, try hard and do that for a few reps. Then after that, have all the bots spawned together and just practice hitting flicks between heads with no sprays. Time for another in-game demonstration. So once you're in your range, you're gonna go to the start button, shoot that, they're gonna start spawning. Flick to the head. Stay aiming head level, flick to the head. This is a good way to learn the base head level in the game, because all the bots are obviously going to be standing. And you can start slow, you can get better, but as you get better, your flicks can get faster, and faster. Now, obviously, as I said, move to medium, hard, all of that. And once you're done with that, just start flicking between the bots. I like to do this a lot. I honestly like doing it more than the head shooty thing, but the head shooty thing is probably better practice, but this is just more fun. And now for you aim labs or Kovacs users, I think the best modes are the ones with pretty tiny targets that require mainly micro adjustments or flicks. Personally, I don't really recommend Pile Frenzy in Kovacs or Grid Shot in aim labs, you know, those just flick around in a circle, because that's not really going to be used in your games. You're going to be flicking in weird circles like that. Most of the time, you will be making micro adjustments. But there are tons of useful scenarios. I can't name all of them for you, but I think you can find them out for yourselves. I believe aim labs also does have Valorant drills specifically, so try things out for yourself. If you want a specific aim labs video, leave a comment down below. While you're down there, subscribe. But I will make that for you guys if you want it. I'll learn everything I need to. As I said, I'm just stating the basics here, doing a small 10 to 30 minute session every day of aim training like that in the range, or aim trainers will have you improving your aim in no time at all. But now, our past few tips have just been physical things that you need to learn while you play Valorant. But this next one is going to be something mental to switch up the pace a little bit. This thing is going to be that you need to learn to be patient. Basically, what I want from you is that I want you to start thinking in your matches when you should start to shoot, because you're getting to know when to shoot. And you may be thinking, well, no, I need to shoot right away. I see an enemy. That's not entirely true, because even if you have good aim, if you're shooting too early, you can either cheat yourself out of getting multiple kills, or just miss even one easy shot on an enemy. So maybe you actually have decent aim, but you're shooting at the wrong time. So just pay attention on this one. You've probably heard of this. It's called trigger control. But normally when you think of people saying trigger control, it's like you're sitting in a corner, someone walks by you, you don't shoot because you want to get more than one kill. And now, while that is technically true, we're talking about aim here. And what I'm focusing on is the fact that you need to wait till the kill is easier to get. I'm going to give an example and let me know if this has happened to you. Let's say you have a sheriff and the enemy has a vandal. They swing a corner, and the second they swing, you just start spamming sheriff shots. You don't get the kill, you're like, oh, well, it's a gun diff. And now, while sure, they had the better gun than you, the sheriff one shots to the head. You can technically get that kill. All it's going to take is you to wait, be patient, and make sure you set up the shot. If you shoot too early, you might miss, you might body shot, then you're going to get set into a spray out of panic. Basically, I just want you guys to be patient. Another thing that may have happened to you is someone wide swinging or pop and swinging you, and then you whiff an entire mag and they one tap you. This happened because they were patient and you weren't. They set up the shot as I told you to do like 5 seconds ago, and when they swing like that, they're betting on the fact that you're going to shoot early and be forced into a spray. Since they were being patient, they're going to have time to make sure the shot is going to hit and assure the kill. As a direct counter to this, when they're doing this wide swing, wait till they slow down. This concept is a little bit hard to explain because it's really mental, but it's a pretty simple trick. It's just something that's hard to put into words. Basically, just don't shoot the second you see someone. Make sure that you're gonna hit the shot. You'll get quicker and quicker this as you go. But I'm not saying don't shoot people at all. If you need to take the shot, take it by all means. Just learn to control yourself. But speaking of waiting for an easy kill and not spraying out on someone wide swinging, my next tip is gonna be to stop spraying. And now, although on occasion it is okay, it's really not in your best interest to spray. The thing about Valorant is that sprays are random. There's no spray patterns. Sure, the first 5 bullets usually go down, but then after that, they're random. There's no consistent patterns. It's going to go wherever it wants to go. Sometimes you'll run and gun one tap someone from across the map, and sometimes you won't hit someone right in front of you. Another thing is spraying takes longer than going for a one tap. Most of the guns in this game can one tap, and if not, they probably 2 tap to the head. Most good players will attempt a headshot by tapping a couple times rather than just spraying a mag while you're standing still. This is because when using the counter strafe method I mentioned you before, you're able to shoot, move, and repeat, making yourself a harder target to hit and giving you a better chance at getting a quicker kill. If you're standing still, you're gonna die. I told you this before. And also, when you're spraying less, you're aiming more, which is gonna make you an even better player. Now, the best way to practice this tip is in a deathmatch, which is actually my next tip. Wow, it's almost like I said these will all go together. All right, next tip. As I said, play deathmatches. The best way to explain why this is important is going back to the aim training I brought up before. While aim labs is good and the range is great, and they're gonna teach you the bare mechanics, you need to be able to transfer that into the game. As I said, bots are good for practice, but they don't move like a real player will, even with the strafe on. That's why running around in a deathmatch will be your best bet for practicing crosshair placement and aim. While you run around, you're going to be seeing people in different spots, playing different positions, coming at you from all sides, on a real map and actually shooting back at you. And now, what I recommend is only going for the one taps while also having music on and audio off. This way, you're just purely practicing your taps. You're not sound whoring, you're not camping in corners. You're just running around trying to take as many gunfights as possible. If you're not getting in gunfights, you're not going to improve. As I mentioned in the last tips, we want you to be going for taps more than anything. So just run around in a DM, try your best not to have to spray. Doesn't matter if you die, because you don't need to win the deathmatch when you play. You just want to improve, because then you're winning in the long run. And now the next one's kind of going against what I said in the last 2 tips, but this is my video and I still think it's important advice. If you disagree, make your own video. But while you shouldn't be spraying in most gunfights, you're still going to want to learn the recoil of guns, because although it's not a good habit to have to spray all the time, sometimes you're going to have to do it. And when you do it, you better hope you're good at it. Because sometimes pros have to spray. You've seen it before if you watch them. Not always gonna hit the one tap, but when they spray, it's usually a good spray. Fingers crossed. So for this, just hop in the range and spray at some targets, practice some spray transfers, maybe use the target board on the side to see the pattern, how good you're doing. This isn't the most important tip, but it is still an essential fundamental that'll improve you overall. And now it's time to teach you guys the sauce and what I mean. So we're gonna go into the range, and as you can see here, we have this board. Start off on 5 meters. When you shoot, it's going to show you where your bullets land, and now you can see the spray pattern. Obviously, as I told you, it's going to go up at first, and then it's going to go left and right randomly. And now the way it goes up is not consistent, but whatever. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to look at this, and you're going to try and do the opposite. As you can see, my bullets are in a pretty consistent area. That's a good spread. That's the size of a head just about. You can try moving it further back, doing the same thing. But honestly, I would not recommend spraying more than 5 to 10 bullets in a gunfight. That's when it starts to go random, and if you're doing more than that, you're going to be out of ammo when someone else swings you. So spray 5, reset, swing, spray 5. You can try it on all the ranges you want, etc. But you shouldn't be spraying from far, guys. This is why I say don't always spray, obviously. But a good 10-meter fight, you can spray. What I like to do next, though, which I actually prefer, is with all your bots spawned here, we're going to be doing spray transfers. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to spray, go bot to bot. But what I like to do is I limit myself to about 10 bullets, and I try to get at least 3 that are spread apart. So let's go this guy, to this guy, to this guy. Anyone else we get in between is a bonus. Oh wait, I forgot about the third guy. Dang it. As you can see, it's pretty simple. But what you may notice is I'm not spraying the body on all of them. See how many bullets that takes? That's terrible. I want to spray head to head, head to head, head to head, head to head to head. Much quicker this way, and it's a lot more efficient on your ammo. That's my sauce, though. Let's move on to the next tip. All right, now I'm gonna give you guys a quick little breather, because this one is really easy and quick to do. If you want to take this game seriously, sure to be doing this, but just in case, stop using ugly crosshairs. Use something functional, nothing too big, but nothing too small, because you want to be able to actually see your crosshair. This is all preference, but big crosshairs are gonna block things, and small crosshairs a little bit better. Just, again, make sure you can't lose it. The main thing is you don't want something distracting or obstructing your view. Personally, I think moving crosshairs are a big no-no, but that's more opinion-based. I think some really good players run them. I just don't think it's a good way to go. Now, I'm not going to go over what crosshairs you should and should not use, but I'm going to leave a few of my crosshair codes in the description that I use the most. It'll be right below the subscribe button and right above my Twitch link. You know what to do. But anyways, if you've made it this far and nothing has fixed you yet, this might be the last resort. Actually, wait. For your last resort, I have one more thing. You could buy new gear. If you're playing on really crappy equipment, like a $15 mouse and a mouse pad that you see in a school library, maybe that could be the issue. I hate telling people to buy new things, because even back when I played other games on really crappy equipment, I was still actually pretty good at them and made it into high elo. But for some people, they may not be able to do that because we're all different. So if you really want to, you can't buy new things. I wouldn't call this a tip, because I don't like telling you guys to go spend money. That's against my morals. But anyways, the actual last tip, as I said, if nothing has fixed you so far, this could be the last resort, but your sense could be the issue. It's really that simple. Your sense sucks, and it's making you suck. It might be too slow, it might be too fast, and honestly, most likely, it's too fast, since you want to look like those TikTok kids that are frame skipping. Now, my recommendation is to do something that allows you to do at least a 180 in game with one swipe on your mouse pad, but no more than a 360. For example, here's one full swipe of my mouse pad. That's 270 degrees just about. And that's from left to right on my mouse pad, all the way. If I'm standing in the middle of my mouse pad, I do a full flick, I do a 180. That's from middle to the edge. But I'd say that's a good middle ground for your sense, and it's a pretty good guideline to go off of. And I'd also say it's a good way to end this video. Make sure you subscribe, watch another video if you feel like it. Adios, wear your seatbelts, and stay hydrated. Peace.